friends, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots.
It's closed down now.
Oh, no.
They shut it down.
What? The health department again?
They shut it down permanently, bro. It's not there no more. I'm 90% sure it's not
Was
there.
it health department really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God,
I'm pretty sure.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure. But anyways, let's go back to this time period.
All right, but they were shut down like 8 times.
Yeah, they were.
And I loved it.
It's not a lie.
It was so good.
So
you can find Fort Worth Roots on all of your favorite streaming services, Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and many more. Listening to the Fort Worth Roots podcast is a great way to stay connected with the community, but 2/3 of everything that we do is on social media. So if you're looking for a way to stay in touch with local music and different things happening inside your backyard, check us out on Instagram. It's at Fort Worth Roots. Same on TikTok, Facebook, and our email is media@fortworthroots.com. You can find us on YouTube as well as Fort Worth Roots. Stay tuned to the very end of the episode. Today's guest plays 3 times for us on the Fort Worth Roots podcast stage at our studio in Fort Worth, Texas. And the audio actually turned out pretty good. We piped it all into the Rodecaster. Our guest brought out his sound engineer, and the guy really knew what he was doing because it sounds great. And stay tuned to the very end of the episode as well. We're going to talk about all of our amazing sponsors. We do like to talk about a couple of our sponsors up front at the beginning of the episode. Find Flurry Fitness on Instagram as Flurry Fitness Fort Worth. They're located at 643 Sherry Lane, Fort Worth, 67114. You can go to their Insta and click on the link provided for your free 3-day pass. Also tell them you heard about the Flurry Fitness gym on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, and during the spring sales event, they will waive your sign-up fee. Check that place out. Again, that is Flurry Fitness, and they're located in the same parking lot as Target, right across from the military base. Are you craving quality music made right here in Fort Worth? Visit amplify817.org to browse and stream a growing collection of commercial-free local music wherever you are. Do your ears a favor and discover your new favorite local group today on amplify817.org. Amplify 817 is a service of the Fort Worth Public Library, sponsored in part by community donors to the Fort Worth Public Library Foundation, which pays local artists up front to feature their music on the platform. More on our sponsors at the end of the show. And again, our guest will be playing 3 tracks that we recorded on location at the Fort Worth Roots podcast studio. Our guest today is a full-time musician, and that is really saying something. He's been doing this since 2008. He dabbles in a little bit of everything having to do with music. He's an incredible artist, as you're going to find out today at the end of the show, where we play those 3 tracks for you. You can find our guest on Instagram as Adrian Garza, DFW. That's enough talking out of me. Thank y'all so much for being here, and please give it up for our new friend, Adrian Garza, and let's start the show. I almost forgot that we were going to be doing a podcast today, because I was having so much fun watching you guys rock out on the Fort Worth Roots podcast stage.
Oh, man, thank you so much, man. I think you're right. So I saw this thing that you mentioned. You wanted to have a studio audience, and I think that's what we need to start scheduling.
How cool. Well, and I'll tell you right now, after saying that, and then after what we just did up there on the stage, salud.
Salud, brother.
Where would we put them? I guess over here. We could put them in the podcast area.
I mean, you got. I don't see a ring on your finger. Is there
a ring on that
Madam Turner?
There's a ring there. You just can't see it yet.
Okay, got you. I was gonna say on your lap, but never mind. That. But maybe she'll want to be in the podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, it'd be a small, intimate crowd, 5, 6, 7 people, but we could do it.
I'm with it. Yeah, that'll be great. They'll enjoy that too. So guys, if you're listening right now, make sure you subscribe on all our platforms, and we're going to do a raffle here in just a bit to have our studio.
That's the way we do
studio
it. Right?
audience.
That's the way we do it. Like it's we don't have a lot of space, so if you want to be involved in this, we're gonna have to do a raffle.
There you go. We'll do it. We'll do it that way. We'll bump up subscribers and bump up the numbers on your Instagram.
Adrian, how did we get connected, man?
Well, you and I met years ago.
Did we?
We met years ago in an event, and you know how these Fort Worth events go, where us entertainers, we don't ever really get to see each other because we're always working, and in different places. And I want to say that it was. I think it might have even been a Here Fort Worth event. I think it was
sense.
I think it was.
Give me just a second.
No, go ahead.
All right, so now if you're watching the YouTube video, there's a video.
All right.
We've had a few equipment issues today. We were beta testing a brand new GoPro 11 before I freaked out and realized the video wasn't recording. Speaking of Tom Martin at Here Fort Worth. So we met at a mixer some time ago.
I think it's really beautiful the stuff that Here Fort Worth is doing. With just getting all of us creatives together in one place regularly. I think that's important. I think it's super important, and I'm grateful that our city is starting to recognize the value of entertainment.
Well, and I don't want to sound jaded, but I don't know how much of it is the city, but we have good people in the city that are taking action to make sure that we don't lose what makes this city special.
Which is the people.
And Tom Martin is one of the Martins with an S. Is one of those folks, and those mixers are really important. If you're a local musician, or if you just are an enthusiast, those are the first Tuesday of every month. We talk about them almost every episode, anytime we have a musician on, because it's such an important thing that's going on right now. And do you remember our interaction? Because I'm drawing a blank, man.
Yeah, I am too, but it's okay. It's all good, man. The fact of the matter is that we all got together, and they always have beer at those events, so that's probably part of it too.
There's that. Well, and then Adrian, I was thinking about this earlier, and maybe you can kind of confirm or deny. We interact with so many people. It's hard. It's hard to keep track. I had a gentleman at the last mixer. I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, man," couldn't remember his name, but I'm like, "We've met," and he's like, "Yeah, we've met a lot of times," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
There was an old judge in Fort Worth. His name is Judge Manuel Valdez, and he has a grandson named Mikey Valdez, and I just remember Mikey telling me one day, he's like, "Man, have you ever seen how my grandfather handles that situation? Hey, how's it going? How are you doing?" And he just kind of runs over the person's name. I'm sorry, man, Judge Valdez. I'm sorry, but the secret's out.
Okay, so he just keeps saying like, that's how he does it.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what my move is.
Tell me.
So Megan, my the ring you didn't see on my finger.
Okay.
Our co-host of the show, if she's with me and I haven't introduced her yet to those people. And I shouldn't be telling you my secret because now everybody knows. But this is how you do it.
Okay, tell me.
Introduce someone that doesn't know that person to the person you forgot the name, right? Hey, did I introduce you to Megan? And they're like, "Oh, no." And then they spit out their name, and you're like,
Hey, my name is Tom Martins. Nice to meet you.
Got it. Tom, I don't forget his name. That guy's a staple to the music community, and I see him fairly often in the real world and then on social media and all the cool stuff he's doing. So that's a name to remember. But I can't always remember if it's Tom Martin or Tom Martins with an S at the end.
Like Doc Martens.
For sure.
I don't know.
Will you make it to the next Tuesday mixer?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make it. I've been trying to schedule out some time to do that. It's been nice seeing a lot of my really good friends. So I've been a performer now since 2008 full time. Before that, I was casually doing it as a kid, as a teenager with my family, and performing in and around town.
You look easily 8 years younger than me.
I really appreciate that, man.
What do you mean before when you were a kid?
I really
in 08.
I really appreciate that. I've been doing music full time. No other day job since 2008. Entertaining people.
Bro, you know how incredible that is.
It's my full-time job.
That's crazy.
It's all I do. It's how I pay my bills. It's what I do. And so I've done certain things.
Congratulations.
Okay, so I sing, I play guitar, I play drums, I play bass, I'm a DJ, I'm an event MC. I'm an audio engineer. I'm a lighting designer. And so I've worn all the hats. And in fact, it's funny when people come to my house, they walk into my house and say, "Hey, your house is cool, but what's up with this hat collection?" So I have a hat collection above my house, and I did that one day when I was coming home from a gig, and I said, "Man, I just did everything that day." Like there was a couple of people that didn't show up to the gig, and so I wound up having to pick up their slack, and I said, "Man, I did everything. I wore all the hats." So I started collecting hats from people in different industries.
That's so cool.
So in the ceiling of my house, I've got about 40 hats at this point now that I've been collecting. And so if anybody out there has an Indian headdress, I need a chief's headdress. That's what I need. I know that's probably in a museum somewhere. But
did you wear that hat as well?
No. So I've been collecting hats from other men
were you
in their industries.
Were you the tribal leader of an Indian tribe?
I mean, in a way, I guess I kind of was. I was the chief of my tribe, crew chief, but whatever.
Crew chief.
Yeah, I was a crew chief. Yeah, but
on what?
Just for my shows and my events. So I produce. So in addition to also performing, I also produce festivals and concerts. So I've done events like Hope Fest in Dallas for the Harwood District and the Harwood Group, and then I've done. I do an annual Cinco de Mayo festival that me and the folks from Teenies and Taco Heads have been doing for a number of years.
Is that here in Fort Worth?
So we initially did it. It was called Cinco on South Main.
Okay.
And then we did Cinco in the Stockyards when they did their new build out in the Stockyards. In addition to that, I've done a festival called Faith Fest on Florence, and that's been cool. And that was really, really nice and really beautiful. So I produce my own festivals. I just dream up a festival and I throw it. And I've been fortunate that the city's been around to back me up. And when I say the city, I mean the people.
Right.
I don't mean like the governmental entity, even but that too.
I've got some serious love for the governmental side, like our people here in Fort Worth. I don't agree with a lot of things that are going on in the city, but at the same time, there's some organizations like Amplify 817 that really show that we're at least making an effort as a city. It's on the organizational side. So, but yeah, the people. Fort Worth is special because of the people that we have here in our community. I was talking to Tom, your friend and videographer, before we got started.
Tom South. He's a celebrity, man. You got to say both names, man. Tom South. You just say Tom, they think Tom Thumb is over here filming me. It's Tom South.
He's behind the scene, folks.
Yes, he's cool.
But we were talking about how collaborative Fort Worth is, and I mean, you whatever industry you're in, everybody's good to go. Like we're ready to work together, and that's the community.
Absolutely.
City stuff aside.
Absolutely. Let's step up.
Yeah.
What can we do? How do we get our hands dirty? How do we make this happen? And I think that's part of the Fort Worth culture is getting things done. Today, a really good buddy of mine, Josh Ingram, who's also a musician. Go ahead and like him on all the social medias. Josh Ingram. He's got an incredible catalog of music.
Josh, not Jack.
Josh Ingram. And, he was just like, "Hey, man, I need help." And I was like, "Okay, let's go." And so we did a whole bunch of manual labor. And
so cool. Had
nothing to do with music. And we drank a beer afterwards and had a good time, and our friendship grew, and that's just really all it is. It's like they say that Fort Worth is a big city with a small town vibe,
right?
And I think we need to share that with everybody that's moving here into town, because it's important. It's important to.
Well, we don't want to lose that.
You can't lose it. You can lose it.
You can absolutely lose it.
You can absolutely lose it, but we cannot afford to lose it, because that's why people move here. That's why the city is so great. Are we not? I saw you make a post and it said something. We're the 11th. Last time I looked, we were the 13th largest city in the U.S.
I think it's 12th now.
So okay, we're the 12th now.
So it just depends on what article you read. But yeah, we're up there.
So I remember the stat was one person every 24 minutes was moving to Fort Worth between the ages of 18 and 35.
Okay.
So that's a lot. That's a lot of people that are moving here constantly. So we're doing something right. We need to maintain that culture of hospitality. What's the southern way, right? It's just Southern hospitality. So I love that. Anyways, Y'all are getting bored with me talking about my love.
No,
for
they're
Fort
not.
Worth.
But listen, I got questions for you, Adrian.
Okay.
You're talking about this Southern hospitality. Our listeners want to know where you're from. Where did it all start?
Yeah. So before me doing all this production stuff and me playing music and singing songs and writing songs and such, it's my mom and my dad. My mom and my dad moved. My dad moved out here from San Antonio. He was one of the very first. He was in the very first class of minority police officers that Fort Worth ever hired.
Wow. What year is this?
I want to say that was like in 1973, I guess, maybe something.
So
like that.
before that, they weren't hiring.
There were no blacks, there were no Hispanics, there were no Asians, and
Jesus.
it was just that. And so my dad, actually, he moved out here. This was the first opportunity that he had. In fact, when he was in college, they told him, "Well, you just want to get a trade, don't you, son?" And he was like, "No, actually, I want to go to college." "No, you don't." "Yes, I do." And so he went to college, got his criminal justice degree, and then applied everywhere, and no place was hiring for him.
Right.
And so Fort Worth called, and he moved up from San Antonio and came here. He met my mom, who was working at the Fort Worth Police Department as a meter maid, because back in the day when you got a meter ticket, it was the Fort Worth Police Department. Mm-hmm. They met, and then here you go.
Nice.
You get this guy. So,
did you catch our episode with the Fort Worth Police Department? Did you see that?
No.
We just did it. It's 2 or 3 episodes ago. But yeah, we had the Fort Worth PD and Fort Worth Fire Department sitting right here.
Oh, wow.
That was a cool episode.
Okay, well, I'll have to go back and watch that one.
We got mad love for PD and Fire Department.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It ain't all as it appears online.
Well,
but there are some crazy stuff. But we'll leave it there.
Anger sells, and I leave that shit alone.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it there. But at any rate, so my dad was in the first class of minority police officers. He met my mom. My mom had me. Then I would spend summers with my grandmother, and my grandmother was in the Guadalupanas at Our Lady of Guadalupe Catholic Church in the North Side. So our family was kind of one of the very first Hispanic families in Fort Worth, and up there.
It's a bold statement.
It is, but it's true. And up there in an area of Fort Worth called La Loma. La Loma means the hill.
Okay.
And La Loma is located in between Northside and Diamond Hill. Okay. It's this really small island of a community, and it's if you're not familiar with with Diamond Hill or Northside, it's just south of Meacham Airport, north of 35. Long and 28th Street.
So you probably have a pretty huge appreciation for aviation.
You know what? It was more of an annoyance. It was more of an annoyance growing up, but that's okay. And that was fine. It's not a big deal. I just kind of learned to tune it out. But anyway, so we lived out there, and my grandmother was in the Guadalupanas, and she played organ, and so she sang songs and taught us music. And I remember people asked me, well, where did your music first start? It was with my grandmother, and it was also in my first grade choir. I was in my very first in my first grade choir growing up. Would sing and would do all that stuff, and I've never not known a life without music.
Yeah,
my whole life, and I'd be on stages, and I remember we had a Christmas concert, and it was I played Santa Clausarelli. It was like a Christmas concert, like Grease themed, and I was Santa Clausarelli, and I would sing. It was funny.
What? You're gonna have to explain that.
No,
a little bit better.
It's just
okay.
It was a Christmas concert it's a Christmas story based around Grease, and
you're in this.
Yeah, and I was Santa Claus's alter ego when he was like, I'm done with this. He was having a midlife crisis with his wife, and I'm serious. And so I had this like I was a Santa Claus, but I had the jacket on, and I had a beard too. Okay. And so I was just his alter ego for when he had his midlife crisis. Okay. Which is kind of deep for elementary school.
I was gonna. How old are you? How old are you? doing this?
Oh man, at that time, I mean, I was in elementary school, bro. I was in 5th grade. I was 5th grade. I guess. I was a 5th grader. So
what does that make you? 4, 13.
See
12,
how you are.
12?
You're trying to put my age out there right now. You're trying to.
Well, I mean,
I was 11.
Age, you know,
Was it 11? Yeah.
Wow. That's weird. I've never heard of such a thing.
Well, anyways, I started. That was my introduction to music. I was singing. I was learning songs. I was learning skits. I was learning how to act on camera, and since then I forgot it all. No, I'm just kidding. But and you know what's interesting? They don't really prepare you in elementary or in primary school for what happens next. They don't really teach you, like, okay, you're going to learn music, but why? Why do I need to learn music? And they tell you, like, algebra too, right? Calculus and all that stuff, but why? And so, but I fell in love with music at that age. I was with learning from my grandmother, learning from all these classes that I was in, and what do I do next? And so I never thought it was an actual career move that I could move into, that I could go do and make money at, the same way the lawn guy was making money coming over to my house, or the next door neighbor's dad was an accountant. And I never thought I could actually make a full-time job doing this. It wasn't a reality. It wasn't something that people were teaching or it's saying, you go do this. So I kind of put it on the back burner until when I was in high school. I had a high school band. I had a rock band, and I played a lot of different music. And
what's the name of the band? We're gonna look it up.
Well, there was one. No,
we're looking it up.
Yeah. So I think you can find them on YouTube or something. One was called like Bueller.
Bueller? Anybody? Bueller?
It was like, that was one. But another one was called Coming of Age. So I think you can find like Coming of Age on YouTube somewhere.
Okay. We'll try to dig it up.
There's old stuff. But with that being said, I wound up getting a government job, kind of like my dad, following the footsteps of your father. And then I was like, I just can't do this anymore. I quit hardcore.
You can tell us what it was?
Yeah. So I was doing bombs, drugs, and guns for the Department of Public Safety under the directive of Homeland Security at DFW International Airport.
Nice.
So
sounds cool.
I wasn't doing TSA. I wasn't
that guy.
I wasn't the guy that is harassing you as you're trying to get on your plane. I was the guy that was making sure that the plane you got on didn't just get loaded up with a bunch of WMDs. But it was kind of a cool job because I got the job because of my dad's history, and he knew like the police chief at DFW Airport, and so it was neat. That job was neat because if you were going to look for drugs and bombs and guns and weapons that don't look like weapons, that look like something else, like maybe like a Maglite, but it's actually a shotgun, right? You don't know what to look for unless you know what to look for. So they would teach us, right?
Right.
And they say, well, here's how to make a bomb. Whoa, I don't know if you can put that online, but like, I mean,
probably not that particular statement.
But everybody has read, like, I say this. You remember E-Bombs World? You remember like the Anarchist Cookbook? Like that was like a whole thing.
You're saying all the tag words that are gonna get
this flagged.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, man.
No.
But like, good. It's out there. That information's out there.
Right,
okay,
right.
so it is. It's see, you asked. I wasn't gonna say it, but you asked. So they taught us like how to make all this stuff with like det cord and all kind of. Why are you asking me these questions? We're talking about music. I'm a musician.
That's the thing. You thought you were coming here just to talk about music today, but we want to know about Adrian Garza. So
yeah, so these are things that I have in my checklist, and
that's cool. I got a question on that. So we're driving down to Big Bend National Park.
Yeah,
we're cruising. And we got some things in the car that might get, maybe we do, maybe we don't. Got some things in the car.
You got some Drano. Okay.
Anyway, we're running down the road. And somebody told me that these, I guess, Homeland. Oh, we got another hit. If you're watching on YouTube, this counter on our desk here, it flips over every time somebody follows us on Instagram, and it just clicked over. Adrian caught that. So Anyway, we're hauling down to Big Bend, and somebody was telling me that they have these scanners now set up on the road. And as you pass through them, it can read everything that is inside your car. And it uses AI or some kind of algorithm to identify bits and pieces and things that might be sus, you know. And as he's telling me this, I'm like, what's in this car?
Oh, yeah.
And we go through the scanner, and I'm expecting red and blue in the rear view mirror. Anyway, it never happened. But is that the kind of tech you were using back in 08?
The tech wasn't that advanced at that point.
No.
The tech wasn't that advanced back in the day. And it was very kind of hands-on. So that time period that I was working there was around 2008. Yeah, it was about 2007 to like 2010, something like that. I worked there for like 3.5, 4 years.
Back when people are just still super edgy.
Yeah.
Super edgy.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, well, you know, like we still had MySpace. Like, let's put things into perspective. Yeah. Like people were like on Moco Space, like just like clicking through their like little phones, and the screen was like 1.5 by 1.5.
People are starting to forget who Tom is, right? Not this Tom.
Correct. MySpace Tom. Exactly. People, y'all are watching right now. Y'all don't even know who we're talking about. We've got people here in this studio audience right now that don't even know who Tom is.
Right.
But anyway, so the tech wasn't that good. Let me see if I can zip through this. So, you just kind of had to do a lot of physical searching.
Yeah.
Exterior, not entered. And
so, are you out there on the ramp? Like,
yeah, you're on the ramp. You're on the AOA, which is called the Airfield Operations Area, AOA. and you're looking through all kinds of stuff. Since then, like I learned that's not the job I wanted. I like my head attached to my body, and I mean that. Like in many ways.
What if you find something?
No, you do find stuff.
Oh my god!
And there is stuff, and there's stuff that happens, and this is real life. But you know, whatever. Adrian's not saying too much about all that.
Well, Adrian probably.
That's why Adrian moved into music.
Yeah.
That's why Adrian moved into music.
So all right, I'll stop with my bullshit. Let's get into that music. So when did you record your first track, your first single, and where'd you do it at?
Okay, so around 2008 is whenever I quit the government stuff and I moved into doing music full time. And
now, hold on, you make it sound like such an easy transition.
I quit full time. I mean, I quit cold turkey. Like I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of shaving my face every day. I'm tired of pressing my uniform every day. I'm tired of going in and doing this job that I don't want to do.
And you just went face first.
So I went exactly. I went and I said, I'm going to quit everything. I'm sitting on money. You know, as a young kid. Yeah, your Instagram's blowing up right now, man.
Nice.
As a young kid, I was just like, I can't keep doing this. So everybody was like 20 and 30 years my senior at this position.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to stop. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do what I love. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I found my uncle Leo Signs was from the Latin Express band. He was doing this full time, and all I did was just get in his way. And that's lit. If people ask me, well, how did you do this? I said, I got in my uncle's way. I knew that my uncle had played for multiple presidents. He was playing Tejano music in and around town for everybody's wedding. I mean, he even played my mom and dad's wedding. He played everybody's wedding. He played everybody's quinceañera. If you're Hispanic and you're listening right now and you don't know the Latin Express band,
you don't live in Fort Worth.
You probably just haven't been paying attention because you've probably danced to their music, straight up. And it's a Latin orchestra, so they've played guitar. It's every instrument that's known to man. Guitar, bass, drums, saxophone, alto, tenor.
Are they based
trombone, trumpet, congas, keys, just every flute. every instrument.
Is that based out of Fort Worth?
They're based out of Fort Worth. They're right here in town, and I'll hook you up with him, my Uncle Leo, and he'll have a way better interview than I'm giving you right now.
This is great. This is gold.
And so, anyways, he's I learned the gift of gab from him. I learned how to book a gig from him. I learned music theory from him. I learned a lot of things to do and a lot of things to not do. Sorry, Uncle Leo, but it's all good, and more things to do, because he's a brilliant man. His brother, who is the founder of the band, his older brother, Carlos Saenz, these guys taught me everything I know, and I owe everything to them. And all
right, so it's 08, and you're bugging your uncle. You're getting in his way. Are y'all? What are y'all doing? Where are you gigging? How's it working?
So we're gigging at like the shadiest of bars that you've ever seen in your entire life.
I've seen some bad
ones.
So,
they're all the bars up and down Main Street and Jacksboro Highway, and just the Mexican bars.
08, 09.
I mean, we've got Sam Saloon. What did we have? The Que Paso Club. We had Outlaws Sports Bar with Lurch, the owner. The owner's name was Lurch. I mean, just these are the types of places we're playing, And what's up, Lurch? How you doing, Bubba? And
shout out Lurch.
And all kinds of cool spots. Frankie D's Sports Bar. Frankie D's Sports Bar is the very first time that I ever played with Max Baca and Los Tex Maniacs, and they're in a Grammy Award-winning entity. Their music is in the Smithsonian. They have a piece. Yeah, they have a piece for Tejano music and Tejano roots history and Tejano roots culture. So. And it's in their permanent collection.
And they're here in Fort Worth as well.
They're not. They're actually from South Texas.
Okay.
But anyways, that's where I first found them at Frankie D's. And so just through playing with the Latin Express and the Tejano music, I was able to meet a lot of really exceptional musicians and performers. And I give all that credit to Carlos and Leo Saenz. With that being said, I was writing music, but I needed to do something different. I needed to not keep playing there because there just wasn't a space for me in that group. Even though it was a big band, I needed to do something different. I needed to find my own way. And I didn't have a lot of, income coming in at that time.
Yeah. Not
how I was with the government. It was it was a totally different perspective. So I had to figure it out. I hosted an open mic night at Lurch's spot. It was my very first one. I remember I had they offered me $50. Here's $50. We need you to do 5 hours. So I was like, well, that's $10 an hour. That's not that bad. And did that. And then in 2010, I got better at my open mic nights, and Fort Worth Weekly gave me the #1 open mic night in Fort Worth at that time. That was cool.
Shout out Fort Worth Weekly.
2010, yeah, and that was fun. And then I think I posted it, and I guess they didn't like that too much. So I don't know. Whatever. It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good, brother. So then. I just kept doing it. I just kept playing gigs. And I remember my very first really good paying gig was at this place called Yucatan Taco Stand.
Oh, I know that place.
But it was when they first opened. It wasn't the one that you're talking about. See, because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and everybody in Fort Worth knows what's
It was
up.
when they were the hottest spot in town, and everybody would take their mama and their wife and their mistress there.
Listen, I don't care what the Fort Worth Health Department has to say about Yucatan. That place is fire. They have great food. Are you going to get sick? Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. But does it matter? It's delicious.
Guess what? It's closed down now.
Oh, no.
They shut it down.
What? The health department again?
They shut it down permanently, bro. It's not there no more. I'm 90% sure it's not there.
Was it health department really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God,
I'm pretty sure.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure. But anyways, let's go back to this time period.
All right, but they were shut down 8 times.
Yeah, they were.
And I loved it.
It's not a lie.
It was so good.
So they gave me my very first gig, bro. I played there. And I remember, like, I had nothing to my name at that point. I'd run out of all the money that I'd made, and I was like, I will play for you guys on a lunch break. And so I went and I did that, and they said, okay, cool, this will be our audition. And they said, well, we're going to pay you $175 to play this coming Friday, which was like 2 days from then. And I just like, oh yeah, that'll be fine. And I remember walking back to my car, and I just did this, like the Napoleon Dynamite's brother?
Oh, dude.
I don't you know remember. The meme though, and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, yes. And I was just like, yes. I was like, I'm in. And I was like, dude, this is incredible. It was like the most money that I ever made for a single gig ever. I was like, $125 for 3 hours. I was like, let's go.
This is like 2010?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was at.
175 went a long ways back in 2010.
It really did. And so then I would keep pushing, and I was like, well, if I did it here, I can do it another place. So I started working with like TJ Fry. We're getting into like hard-working musician lifestyle
podcast
right now.
Stuff.
Yeah, we're getting into hard-working musician lifestyle. So like, I booked one with TGI Fridays corporate. I booked one with Bar Louie corporate. I booked one with a bunch of other places, and
rest in peace, Bar Louie.
Yeah, and every single one, like, I booked one with the Dallas Stars. I played every single weekday home game with them.
Bro, that's awesome.
On the concourse.
Very cool.
For 3 years.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this was crazy. This was crazy because as a musician, you think to yourself, you can't make a living doing this. Well, and not all those gigs were 175. They started. Right. I said, well, what do y'all think? And the same situation happened with you, Katana. They said, well, we'll pay you $250. I was like, okay, what? How about now? We'll pay you $500. Well, how about now? We'll pay you $750 to come out. And the numbers would just keep increasing, and sometimes there were less, and sometimes there were more.
Like
it was kind of a fluid, it was kind of fluid. It's kind of a fluid situation, and I know that this is weird for a lot of people, but like, you can make a living as a full-time musician. Yeah. This idea of the struggling artist is only what you will accept and what you won't accept.
Sure.
And of course I've played free gigs. And of course I'll still play free gigs. And of course I'll play gigs that are not the number that I want, but it can happen.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people need to hear this because
they do.
You can make a living doing what you love. What you're passionate about, you need to just keep pushing at that constantly, because it's the person that doesn't give up that wins, really.
Yeah.
And here I am. So I gave up on writing music for a long time. I was like, well, that's just for other people. That's for famous people. That's for people that, you know, they just made it. The luck was in the cards for them.
So you started doing a lot of cover stuff?
I was only doing cover music at that point, right? I was playing bars, clubs, and restaurants. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm learning this craft. I'm learning what people like. I'm learning what people love. And something that's not really talked about often is the psychology and the sociology behind being the ringmaster, behind being the person in the middle of a bar, club, restaurant where nobody came to see you, and now you're in charge of their entire night. You get to make them happy, sad. You get to control their emotions. You can create happiness, joy, sadness, ratchetness. Like, you can
explain that one.
No, I mean you already know. You just turn on
hip hop worldwide. What's it called?
Yeah, you know, you start playing No Diggity, and you start playing Girl, You Look Good when you back that. You know, I'm really not gonna go.
Things are gonna get knocked over.
Yeah, things are. Yeah, people are gonna get pregnant. So, anyways, long story short, I started doing that, and that was fun, but we moved forward, and I just can't. I just couldn't do that any longer. I needed to do something that was more fulfilling for me. I needed to let my voice be heard, because all this music that I was playing, just it never stopped. There was always a new song that you had to learn. There was always a new hot thing. There was always a new Blurred Lines. There was always a new Uptown Funk. There was always a new song.
Right.
Can't Stop the Feeling.
Freebird.
There was always a
Play
new
Freebird.
Yeah, there was always a new Freebird.
Play Freebird.
There was always a new Freebird. There was always a new Freebird. And a human being can only memorize so many things. Like, let's be real. Like,
I'm not a jukebox.
We're not a jukebox, and I'm good at what I do, and I know a lot of songs, but I just don't know that one song that you know, and that's okay. Or I'm familiar with it, but I just don't know it.
Well, now I'm mad and I'm leaving.
So what am I going to do now? So I'm going to start. I gotta do something different. Well, throughout the years, even at that point, a lot of friends were asking me to perform with them and play songs with them and do different things, and I decided that I wanted to write songs again.
When did you start collaborating with other artists?
I think the first time that, after me doing my songs and then doing the cover songs, and then me kind of just quitting on me ever being an original artist again. After that point, there's a lot of stories there, but after that point, I got hooked up with some of my friends that I had been actually performing with for a long time, who are now big time stars. I mean, people like Maren Morris. We used to be on gigs together at a place called Fox Street, or it's called M Lounge. I was on Fox Street, and so Maren would play like the 7 to 10 slot, and I'd play the 11 to 2 slot. For those of y'all who don't know, she sings a song called "Baby, Why Don't You Just Meet Me in the Middle?" And then what's this other? Yeah, I guess that's my church. So she used to open up for me. I say open up. That sounds shitty. Sorry. Censor that. I said a curse word.
No, we're good.
But her people it doesn't matter. But anyways, we would I'd do stuff like that, and I was just writing constantly, but people weren't hearing it. And then years later, my friend Chris Detroit asked me, Adrian, you need to get back to doing what it is that you love to do, and you need to write music again. After I had quit, after girlfriends had told me that it wasn't a viable option for a family, and my bank account was kind of low at that time, and so I got in his truck. He came pick me up. He put me in his pickup on spinners. You know, he had spinners. He had big fat spinners on his truck, and big fat lifted truck, and we went to the studio and we started recording songs for some other folks, and I was like, man, these songs are pretty good. And then certain artists were getting accolades and getting signed to some of the biggest labels in the entire world, and I had to say to myself, Adrian, you're not terrible at this. You can do this. And I really had to sell myself on that. It was rough, man. It was painful. It was painful because I was opening up myself. I was opening up my heart to being vulnerable again, to being judged by a massive group of people. With my words that can't be taken back once they're online. Right. Once you put something out online,
it's forever.
It's forever. It's forever.
In stone.
That's weird.
God help you.
That's weird. That's weird. But so Chris brought me out there, and we started writing songs, and I started writing songs for more people, and I've written songs with people like this guy named Don Lewis. I've sat in songwriting sessions with this guy named Louis the Singer, and we've written songs together, and written songs with a guy named Luke Wade, and I've talked over songs with a guy named Radney Foster, and in between all that, I'm still doing my production work too. So I've produced festivals and concerts and do lighting and sound, and I've done shows with and for guys like Wade Bowen and Casey Donahue and a lot of super duper famous people.
Yeah.
And it's been a struggle.
We're going to need to talk because this is year one of the live music festival for the Fort Worth Roots, and I'm just kind of faking it until I make it. But maybe I could take some pointers from a pro.
I've just been doing it a long time. I wouldn't say I'm the smartest guy.
All I want to do is connect the community.
Yeah.
These are free events, and trying to promote small businesses and provide another stage for local musicians. So
I've worked with guys like Josh Weathers, and
I have tried to get him on this show. Josh Weathers is amazing.
Josh is a really good friend of mine, and he's actually blowing up again on social media.
How about that Whitney Houston track?
Well, that's the one, man. That's the one that's been getting him for years and years and years.
He's got to be tired of singing that.
Well,
belting out that high
but he
note.
crushes it, and he's amazing at it.
It's amazing.
He's amazing at that track. And
guys, if you're listening right now, stop what you're doing, pause us, but come back. YouTube Josh Weathers and Whitney Houston. Check that out. This shit's insane.
100. 100. So he sings I Will Always Love You.
Yeah.
Which is the Dolly Parton song, but it's the Whitney Houston's version of the Dolly Parton song.
I forgot that was a Dolly Parton song.
And so he's a big time country music fan, and now he's coming back with his original country music roots, and he's been blowing up on Instagram with a bunch of country covers of like the classics, and he's crushing them. He's just blowing up. So shout out to my buddy Josh.
And his story is really amazing.
Yeah, he has an incredible story, and but what's cool is that he's a buddy of mine, and I remember he text messaged me one of the last gigs we did, and my audio engineer Austin Smith is here right now, and
shout out Austin Smith, audio engineer.
Well, but he does a lot more than that too. But with that being said, I did this show with Josh, and me and Austin were on that gig, and Josh said, "This is the best on-stage sound experience I've ever had in my entire life."
Just based off the equipment, or
just based off what we were doing. I mean, there's a lot of people with a lot of equipment, and but equipment doesn't make. Here's the phrase. It's not the arrow. It's the Indian.
Okay.
It's not the arrow, it's the Indian. A lot of people can go to Guitar Center and buy random gear, but it's how you use it. It's the knowledge base that you have behind it. And
however, if you're going to drop that buffalo, you got to have the arrow.
Yeah, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know where the heart is. You can hit him in the leg, he might stop.
For a minute.
For a second, yeah.
But you're not having buffalo tonight.
No, it's all good though.
You have to catch him tomorrow.
Yeah. So, anyways, I started writing songs for myself after I decided that I didn't want to do production no more. I do still love production. I own 2 mobile trailer stages. I own stage decks. I got concert PA. I got lighting. I got more gear than most musicians have. I'll just be honest. A lot of musicians have a lot of cool gear, but I can put on a full festival with multiple stages by myself, and that's cool.
I'm glad I've got your phone number now.
But you know what all that gear is to me? When I see a roadcaster like that, I see your blood, your sweat, your tears, because that didn't just happen. That didn't show up on this desk. That didn't just appear. You worked hard for it, and most musicians these days don't realize that because they haven't been able to put in the hard work that it takes to do this type of stuff. Whatever. This may be boring for other people, but I'm giving credit where credit's
You're talking to the right
due.
people.
I'm giving credit where credit's due, and Fort Worth Roots has worked really, really hard, just like Tom South and Austin Smith and Krista Choi and all these other guys. Anyways, so let's keep moving. So I started writing songs. I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to write for other people. I'm going to write for myself. And what happened was, I started writing songs, and they were good.
Well, so you played 3 tracks for us tonight. 3 songs on the Fort Worth Roots podcast stage. Thank you very much. And I was blown away. And it happens somewhat often where I'm just amazed at the talent here, right here in Fort Worth, Texas. It's amazing that we're cultivating like we own any kind of part of what you're creating, but just as a community that the caliber of music that you're producing is coming out of this place. Always impresses me.
It's the story of Fort Worth, man. The story of Fort Worth has always been innovating and cultivating and changing, and I mean, we have places like the Fort Worth Stock Yards where it's literally livestock, and how many livestock can you grow, and what quality can you create them at, and we're builders. We grow live, we create, and this is the Wild West. And the Wild West you look back 200 years. 200 years really isn't a long time.
No.
And we didn't have much out here back then. There was, there was nothing.
Yeah, no, it on that, I was talking to somebody that's from, I guess, England, came over here with a Johnny 5 replica. You remember Johnny 5?
Oh, yeah, J5.
From Short Circuit?
Short Circuit.
So he brings this replica over there. Anyway, we get to talking, and he was recounting either a tour or somebody that he was just talking to about an old building here in Fort Worth. And the building had been built in 1885 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And he's going, that's old to you? That 1885? That seems like a long time. Because, in England, they've got structures that were built back in the 1500s or whatever. Yeah. 200 years is not that long. But the stockyards down there definitely gives you a moment to pause, because there's all these really old buildings, relatively old for America, and all the history that goes into it. So, but yeah, 200 years.
What was it? 1873 is when Fort Worth was founded.
Yeah,
1850 is when my grandparents moved to Ennis, Texas, from Mexico.
Damn.
And did
you say 1850?
Yeah.
Shit.
And my grandparents, my great grandparents moved out here, and then they eventually moved out here to Fort Worth. But it's just like a long time, man, to just like be out here. And there was nothing. Okay, so I just recently I heard you're a truck driver.
I am.
And you
very good one.
Yeah, you are.
Sure, why not?
Well, let me tell you, I really value what you do now, because this last weekend I had a show out in Phoenix, and I had to drive the truck.
Shit. How is it? 16 hours?
21. I don't even have to tell you, because you already know. You already know the United States.
I've driven that.
Yeah, it's like 16 hours. It's 16 hours straight, right?
Oh yeah.
But what does that mean?
Well, you got to stop. You got to fuel up.
So
you got
how
to
many
piss,
hours is that?
You got to stretch your legs. I don't know, 20 hours.
Okay, 20 hours,
yeah.
Right? And if you have like
you're dying.
If you have like a DOT, so here's the deal. Like, I was actually surviving. Yeah, you're dying, and you're literally dying, and I was surviving that drive by listening to all the Fort Worth Roots podcasts. I'm serious.
Bro, thank you so much.
I was listening to a whole bunch of them, man.
Awesome.
I'm not even joking. I heard Dave Cave, and I heard Amanda Victoria.
Very nice.
And I heard a whole bunch of shows.
Very cool.
And they were really great, and it was fun to listen to. But if you ever have a long trip, this is what you need to listen to right here. It's I'll be honest. I bounced to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, you got to.
I did.
The JRE, son.
I did. I listened to him a little bit.
So back in the day, whenever XM radio was around, I don't know if is it still XM radio? I don't think it is. It might be. Anyway, Raw Dog.
Oh.
Raw Dog comedy. And I would put that on, and I mean, bro, it was like a time machine. You're just listening to people banter, talking with their comedy. And it would reduce the travel time by like 3/4. I mean, it's just nice having something in your head that's taking you off the monotony of I-20, which then becomes I-10, and you just keep going west until your eyes start to bleed. That's an awful trip. Are you okay?
Me?
After that trip?
No, you're not okay. So this was what did I get? Today's a Wednesday, and I got back on a Monday, and I'm kind of still like having withdrawals, not only just because of the fact that you're in 2 different time zones away, but just your body doesn't adapt to that driving the way that you think it would. It's super rough. It's way worse than flight.
Oh hell yeah.
It's way worse than flight, and you're like fighting your mind. Don't go to sleep. Stay awake. I'm just gonna eat a couple more pistachios.
Have you ever
gummy bears?
Have you ever experienced like hallucinations while you're driving? Like you've gotten to that point of exhaustion?
Well, I drove through Arizona, right? I'm driving through Arizona and New Mexico, and I stopped by this one guy, hit a little shop, and I ate something that he was offering, and it was I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I didn't have any hallucinations.
No, I mean straight just exhaustion. This was during a deployment, but we were running 16, 18-hour days. And out of that, we were driving from sundown to sunup. And I remember at one point, I'm driving the truck, and the next thing I remember, the guy next to me just starts laughing. And I wake up, and I'm wiggling the steering wheel.
So you had a co-driver.
Right, yeah, this is my sergeant. And I was like a E3 at the E3 at the time. And I wake up, and I'm struggling with the steering wheel, and I'm freaking out. And I look at him, and I'm, why are you laughing? He goes, man, you've been asleep for 10 minutes. You were going left when the road curved left. You were going right when the road curved right. It was crazy. I was like, why the fuck didn't you wake me up? He's like, you were doing fine. Dude, it was crazy. And then I want to say either that same trip, because it was like a 3-week convoy where we were just going every night. At some point, I'm driving. I'm completely awake. My eyes are open. The truck in front of me turned into a teapot and poured itself a cup. And I looked at my TC, my sergeant, and I went, hey, you need to drive. He went, nah, you're good. You're doing fine. And I told him what I saw, and he's like, yeah, just keep going.
I heard your podcast with Dave Cave and like AI, and I just really think that we might need to have some AI drivers at this point after hearing what you just told me.
Well, Biden...
No, I'm just joking.
Biden came out like a few days ago and said, these truck drivers, they know. They got 5 years before they all get replaced by these AI computers.
It was tough, man. Like, I went on a trip with a buddy of mine, and we went to go see Kenny Chesney. Now, I say we went to go see Kenny Chesney at the American Airlines Center, but we technically had stickers that said working.
Okay.
Because one of my buddies is the crew chief for Kenny Chesney, so he does a lot of stuff out there.
That's the second time you've used that term. Is crew chief like a position?
It's a position.
Okay.
So you're like managing everybody that has anything to do with the stage.
Okay.
Okay. And
You're telling them where to set the lights up, where the speakers
So this
go.
guy in particular is like a lighting guy. And anyways, we went to the show, and on the show was Kenny. It was Zach Brown Band, Megan Maroney, and Uncle Cracker.
Good card.
Pretty good card. And
Yeah.
it was a sold-out event at
For sure.
American Airlines Center.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, AT&T Stadium, the Cowboys.
What's the capacity there? I was thinking about that
I think
today.
we looked, and it was like 80 people, like on a football game, and like 115 on if you were including the field.
Mm-hmm. So you get like 115,000 people.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
wild. That's crazy.
Which is a lot of folks.
It's unbelievable.
Which is a lot of folks, for sure. And so we went there, and we were just all over the field. Backstage, on stage, in the front of house position, which is where the sound engineer and the lighting designers are, up on the top, everywhere. And it was a blast. And why did we start talking about crew chiefs? Oh, yeah. Anyways, because Moss was doing that. But it was fun. So that's what a crew chief does. A crew chief just handles all the crew.
We're an hour into it. Before we get out of here, I want you to tell me about the 3 songs you played for us on stage here at the Fort Worth Roots Podcast Studio tonight.
So I think the first song that I played was Might Make a Cowboy Cry. That song is the beginning of what you would maybe call like a rock opera. And the story on that is about this kid who is a farm worker, which when my grandmother moved to Ennis, Texas from Mexico, she was a sharecropper. And so it's about this farm worker kid who there was a lot of drought going on, and he did not have the truck was breaking down, needed an oil change. There was no crops being made or growing, so he saw an amateur bull riding card, and it said amateur bull riding cash prize. And so what he decided to do was, he's like, well, I have to do this. I mean, there's no other money being made. So he jumps on this card, wins, and he has a new identity. And so for me, like, my new identity is like, well, I'm not going to do this cover music anymore. I'm going to do music. And so I'm kind of sort of, in a way, I'm living out my grandmother's legacy by doing something different. Anyways, so the next song that I wound up playing earlier today was called Liquor in the House. Liquor in the House is a song about a guy who is struggling with alcoholism because of a girl that is just not she's giving him a lot of trouble, giving him a lot of turmoil, like questioning his every move.
Is this any kind of a personal experience, maybe?
I think this is something that can resonate with a lot of men.
Sure.
I think it can resonate with a lot of men. We work really hard, and blood, sweat, and tears, and I think we give our all. I think many of us give our all into certain situations, and anyway, so in this story, this guy is just constantly beat down by this girl every day verbally, and he winds up just like getting rid of this girl. He's like, this is not going to work out. He finds this other girl. Actually, in the terms of the lyrics, God brought a new one, and man, am I blessed. So there's this new girl that comes into his life, and alcohol was always this guy's escape until this new girl came around, and he decided, man, I can't even bring alcohol into this equation anymore because I want something different. So this new girl didn't even make him want to drink alcohol. He didn't want to do anything. So Liquor in the House. And then the final song that I performed was Welcome to Cowtown. And that's like the story of the kid who got on the amateur bull riding circuit. And once he was on this amateur bull riding circuit, he came to Fort Worth. And so Fort Worth brought him a lot of new opportunity. And he talked about how he drove every back road in Fort Worth. So this is just, each one of these songs is going to come out in an order that's going to make sense if you listen to the tracks. So the album is called Texas Sun, and it will be released here in probably a few weeks after this podcast releases. And it'll be on all streaming platforms, and it'll definitely be able to find, you'll be able to find a link on adriangarza.com, which is my website. And if you're on Instagram or these other places, it's Adrian Garza DFW or Adrian Garza Music. And you'll be able to just kind of learn a little bit more about this music that we've been creating and writing.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm extremely excited to dive into the post-edit part of this episode, because as we were recording you up on stage, I was behind the scenes. I didn't have headset on. You had your in-ear monitors going, so you could hear it. Everybody else could hear it except for me. So I'm looking forward to hearing how that turned out. I know it was great, because even without the background track or whatever, you guys sounded great, and I'm really excited about this. And I've had quite a few musicians in the studio. You're killing it. You sounded great.
Thank you, brother.
And I love your art and your music, and God, I wish the best for you.
Thank you so much,
because
brother.
you're doing good work. It's not just the professionalism and the hard nose, forcing your way through whatever you got to do to get the job done. Because you got that. You got the hard work, you got the ethic, you got the professionalism, but your art is incredible. And I hope that everybody goes and checks out this music. Of course, now that you've been on the show, we'll be promoting the shit out of it. So any album release, you got a single, whatever, if you'll tag us, my social media feed is insane. So I might not see it if you don't tag me, but if you will, we'll share it.
Well, look. You're already getting another Instagram follower right now.
If y'all are watching us on YouTube right now, we've had the little Instagram ticker in the background that our wonderful co-host Megan got for us, and it's been going crazy.
It has. It
the whole
actually
time,
really
right?
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's awesome. If y'all don't follow us right now on Instagram, please do so. We'll keep you up to date with Adrian's art and everybody else that's been on the show. That's what we do. We're here to promote. So. Give us a shot. Look us up on Instagram. It's Fort Worth Roots. And Adrian, is there anywhere else people can find your material, your art?
Yeah. So just go to my website, adriangarza.com, and you'll find all my links there. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch this one.
Man, I can't remember that encounter at here at Fort Worth. It must have been a year or two ago. Right?
That's all good.
I don't know. But just a message to the people that have talked to me and are wondering why I haven't called them back. We interact with a lot of people, right?
Oh, for sure.
It's a lot. And unfortunately, whenever you're talking to the host of the Fort Worth Roots podcast, you're talking to a guy with very low bandwidth. I didn't want to say idiot or moron, but
it's all good, brother.
Don't give up, man. We're here. We want to support local music, local art, local photography, local anything. So don't give up. I'm sorry if you've messaged me or you met me at a Here Fort Worth event and we didn't get things popping right off the bat. It's not because I'm mad at you. It's not because I don't like you. I want you on the show. So please email me, message me through social media, whatever it takes. I'm not ignoring you. Just hit me up. Adrian, where can they see you play live, man? What's coming up?
Yeah, so the next show that I'm going to be having is out in Denver, Colorado. It's with a really good friend of mine. His name is Symes Carter. You guys probably know Symes from his viral song that pretty much probably all of you guys, oh no, oh no, 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 oh no, oh no. Yeah, that song. And so Symes Carter is doing his album release out in Denver, Colorado, and it's going to be this next month. I want to say it's June. I don't want to lie to you guys. I want to say it's June 14th. But just look it up on Eventbrite, eventbrite.com. Type in Symes Carter, Simes. I'll be performing there with my buddy Chris Detroit, who sang that song "Welcome to Cowtown" with me, and yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be good. I hope to see you guys out there.
We're gonna play that the 3 songs that he played in studio tonight. Now, just right after we finished, and the third song that we're gonna play is with Chris Detroit. What was the name of it?
Welcome to Cowtown.
Welcome to Cowtown. Okay, I should have been able to remember that.
It's all good.
But we just finished off Blue Note, which was a gift from our friends at Two Guys Walking to the Bar, and it's been a fun episode.
Thank you, brother.
It's been a lot of good stuff. I wish we could have brought some people in here to watch you guys play live at our little humble studio.
We'll do it again. You got to have Chris out here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's supposed to message
Detroit.
me, and we're gonna get Chris Detroit on the show here pretty soon.
Thanks for having me, Andrew.
There was something else. There was one other thing, and I've totally forgotten it. Go check out Adrian Garza, and we will have all the information in the show notes so that you guys can find him seamlessly. Thank y'all for listening to this week's episode, and we will see you next week. Adrian Garza, it was a sincere treat, man. That was a fun episode. Y'all can tell there at the end that Blue Note started to really affect your host. But we got through it. We had a lot of fun. Made a new friend in the process. Here in just a second, we're going to play those 3 tracks for you. Let's get through these show notes real quick. We got Flurry Fitness. You heard about them at the beginning of the episode. Find them on Instagram as Flurry Fitness Fort Worth, located at 643 Sherry Lane in Fort Worth, 76114, located just on the other side of Target, kind of in the same parking lot, right across from the military base. Go to their Instagram and click on the link provided for your free 3-day pass. Also tell them you heard about them on the Fort Worth Roots podcast. Forgot the name of my own show. That's okay. Onward. And during the spring sales event, they will waive your sign-up fee when you tell them you heard about them here on the show. Amplify 817. Are you craving quality music right here in Fort Worth? Visit amplify817.org to browse and stream a growing collection of commercial-free local music wherever you are. Do your ears a favor and discover your new favorite local group today on amplify817.org. Amplify 817 is a service of the Fort Worth Public Library, sponsored in part by community donors to the Fort Worth Public Library Foundation, which pays local artists up front to feature their music on the platform. I'm putting together a playlist for amplify817.org. I don't know when they're going to release it, but I am submitting that tonight so that they can take a look at that. So you can go on to their website, amplify817.org, and you can see playlists that have been put together by people, business owners, podcasters, other people inside the community. Just a selection of who we think we'd like you to hear a little bit about. So go check that out. Again, that's amplify817.org. Yes, sir. Pouring Glory, 1001 Bryan Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas, just off South Main Street and I-35, 1 block north of Rosedale. PG is a growler refilling station that serves craft beer and award-winning food with live music. McFly's Pub, 6104 LTJG Barnett Road. Don't worry about that weird address. Just plug it in. McFly's Pub. It's right outside the East Gate for the military base. It's a 1980s Back to the Future themed bar with a very impressive outdoor area and fire pit. Hang out and bring some friends for pool, darts, cornhole, jumbo Jenga, and catch a live show. There's always something going on at McFly's, and on Instagram as McFly's Pub. I'm serious. There's something almost every single night. So check it out, man. All right. Boulevard Brew, 5406 River Oaks Boulevard, 76114 on Instagram as Boulevard Brew. Under new ownership. It's a coffee bar and lounge. They got baked goods, and you can throw little events there. This place is really cool. And most Fridays, they have live music. You're going to want to check this out, man. It's the vibe. A lot of cool stuff going on there, too. All right. Mr. Eaton Data Solutions. You can go to EatonDataSolutions.com. Our friend Richard Eaton is the owner of Eaton Data Solutions, and when he's not protecting small and medium-sized businesses from data theft and cyber attacks, he's doing the very same thing it is 9 to 5 for Fortune 500 companies. Richard has been doing this for a very long time. He has watched the technology change and the scammer techniques adapt over the years. As the online criminals get better and better at attacking companies across the globe, one thing became very clear to Mr. Eaton. It's not just enormous Fortune 500 companies that are vulnerable to these online punks. Now even small and medium-sized businesses are being attacked. It can happen in an instant. Business owners log in one morning and realize they no longer have access to any of their data. Payroll, tax records, customer database, and files they have been saving since the formation of their company. They're just gone. And that's when these cyber criminals start making demands. They'll offer to give you a passcode to retrieve your data if you pay the fee. And sometimes, whenever you pay the fee, they will actually give you the password to retrieve your data. Other times, you're just out of the money and you never get your data back. If you do end up paying the fee and you do use the password and you get your data back, they're probably going to just target you again. So the solution is to call up our friends at Eaton Data Solutions. Richard knew small and medium-sized businesses needed data protection just like the big guys. You can find them at EatonDataSolutions.com. Drop-down menu on the right-hand side. Hit Services. Hit Plans. Eaton Data Solutions can help you and your team identify areas of vulnerability in your existing system and provide you with solutions to protect your business from the unthinkable. The Body Scrubbery. Find them on Instagram at The Body Scrubbery, located at 519 Pennsylvania Avenue, 76104. Their website is thebodyscrubbery.com. Phone number is 925-808-8222. We just did a video where they invited us out to film a model as she was receiving one of the services provided by the Body Scrubbery. Hi. There's our co-host. Hi, Megan. What are you doing? Just okay. Oh, no. It's a vicious bug bite. We live in the country now, and we're just getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. Shout out to mosquitoes and malaria, responsible for 2/3 of all the world's deaths over the course of history. Wavy Digital. Go to Wavy Digital on Instagram. It's at Wavy Digital. This is a business that is focused on increasing your digital footprint, your Instagram, your Facebook, getting your message out to the public, whatever that might be. So if you have a small business or if you're a creator of any kind, a musician, this is somebody that you need helping you get that taken care of. Again, on Instagram as Wavy Digital. Come on, notebook. I got to clean this up, dude. It's ridiculous. Wood Post Metalworks. Go to woodpostmetalworks.com. Use offer code podcast817. They specialize in metal signs with or without LED backlighting, fence and gate repair or installation, light steel fabrication, industrial plasma cutting, and more. Halk Walker Originals. Go to halkwalker.com. They offer a huge variety of unique and personalized gifts. Also laser engraving to customize just about anything you can think of. Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck. They've been with us for a very long time, and they've taken very good care of the Fort Worth Roots podcast. His family has been invested in taking care of their neighbors for at least 3 generations. Is it 3 or 2? A really long time. Anyway, don't take it from a silly podcaster. Go check it out yourself. It's called Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck, and they have great ratings. Check out their website. It's roofingsolutionsHouck.com, and their phone number is 817-882-6520. We have had a ton of weather lately. Lots of rain, which is going to expose any kind of issues you might already have with your roof. And we've had hail and tornadoes and straight line winds that could rip paint off of a light pole. I mean, it's been nuts. So anyway, if you'll call them, they will do a roofing tune-up. It's where they go up there and they just make sure that you don't have some looming risk developing on your roof. They can seal up pipe jacks and vent covers and things like that. And if you mention that you heard about it on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, they will take 50% off of that service. Phone number again is 817-882-6520. That is Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck. Galaxy Wilderness Disc Golf. This is a new sponsor, and they are ready to bring out the entire disc golf course to your property, wherever you want to set up. They've got lots of different options. They're very quick to respond to your questions on Facebook. Go to Galaxy Wilderness Disc Golf. And as soon as they get their website up and running, it's a brand new company. It's a friend of mine I've known for a very long time. He's very passionate about this. People of all ability levels can do this. Somebody from a wheelchair can throw a disc. And it's a great way to get people engaged and outside, enjoying nature, walking around, enjoying some fresh air, away from all that screen time. So make sure you check them out on Facebook as Galaxy Wilderness Disc Golf. All right, that pretty much covers it for our sponsors. If you have a business in Fort Worth and you're looking for a way to engage with the public, we do always need more sponsors. More sponsors we get, the more we can put into the live music festival. And that's where our funds go to. They go right into the podcast. We're right into providing more stages for our local musicians. Next, let's see here. Next event we've got coming up is June 29th. This is part of the Live Music Festival. And we created this as a way to support small locally owned businesses and provide another stage for our musicians. Augie's Sunset Cafe happening June 29th, 7 p.m. to 10. It's going to be a blast. Jaybirds are an incredible band. We're going to bring out all the goods, man. Big speakers, and it's a badass little patio right there on the lake. Bring a fishing pole if you want, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We really wanted to make sure that at least one leg of our live music festival happened out on the lake. I love Eagle Mountain Lake. It's a good spot. So come hang out with us. We would love to see you. And this is all ramping up to our big event in September 28th at Pouring Glory. All of these bands get an opportunity to play again for us on one stage. And they're getting paid. That's the really important part. We want to pay them better. And we want to have more musicians on stage. So if you are a local business owner and you would like to be a sponsor of the Fort Worth Roots podcast and help us grow this thing so that we can get more artists on stage, hit us up. Our email is media@fortworthroots.com. And we want you guys out there with us. We need your support. We want to do this live music festival every year, and we want to make it bigger and better for you every time we do it. But we need you to come out. Come have fun. There's no cover for this. Absolutely no cover. Great people, wonderful music, and I don't know if you've ever eaten at Augie's. Let's just be honest. You're going to feel bad the next day that you indulged like that, but it's great. It's good food, dude. It's messy. I'm sorry. I hope Augie's is okay with me saying that, but it's like lake food, man, but like gourmet stuff. It's incredible. You're going to love it. So anyway, come hang out with us. June 29th, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Augie's to watch the Jaybirds for free. Okay. Adrian Garza, buddy, thank you so much again for being on the Fort Worth Roots podcast. That was a great episode. And let me make sure I'm telling you right. One more time. Adrian Garza, DFW. So on Instagram, it's Adrian Garza, DFW. Easy to find. Go give this man some love, and hope you enjoy this music. I've talked too long. All right, it's time. Listen, we recorded all three of these in the Fort Worth Roots podcast studio, and I don't get to take full credit for the quality of this audio because he had an audio engineer there with all their equipment, and that's mostly why this sounds so good. I had to do some stuff on the back end, but I could not have done this without Adrian Garza's team. So thank you to those guys. And if y'all need anything from me, Adrian Garza or his team, reach out to me. Let me know. It was an honor to have you guys in the studio, and I hope we get to do it again. All right, that's enough talking out of me. I will see you next week. Roll it.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Adrian Garza. I'm right here out in Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm really excited to be here on the Fort Worth Roots podcast. This has been a minute, and I've been waiting to perform for you guys. I got 3 new songs on my upcoming record called Texas Sun, and I can't wait to play them. Here we go. This first one's called Cowboy Cry. Sun is high, not a cloud in the sky. A dry old day, so we pray for some rain. A jank old tractor, man needs an oil change. And a pickup truck that ran out of gas again. Well, that might make a cowboy cry.
Yeah, that might wash dirt from his eyes, but I doubt it, I might be wrong. Cause that old cowboy, yeah, he's strong. A country boy can't survive, still I ain't seen a cowboy cry. A busted lip, a busted thumb, a busted saddle's where it all came from. A faded picture and an old sad song. A faded memory that he can't get gone. Well, he never ever thought that he'd be leaving her forever, but the road kept him from home. Yeah, that's the price you pay when there's a trail to blaze, when the cowboy rides alone. Well, that might make a cowboy cry. Yeah, that might wash dirt from his eyes, but I doubt it, I might be wrong. Cause that old cowboy, yeah, he's strong. A country boy can't survive, still I ain't seen a cowboy cry. Ride, cowboy, ride. Ride, cowboy, ride. Don't you cry. Yo. That song was called Might Make a Cowboy Cry. It's on my upcoming album, Texas Sun. This is my next song right here to perform for you guys. It's called Liquor in the House. Now, it's not what you think, but it is a song about a little bit of drink. So here it goes. It's called Liquor in the House. I hope you like it. I can't keep liquor in the house. I drink it by the ounce. It has a way of keeping me sane. She has a way of making me drain. She has a way with words. Every single one of them hurts. She likes to cut me down, so I like to put them down. Oh, I thank you for one more round. Yeah, I'll thank you for one more round. I dream of ways of leaving her one day. She dreams of ways of spending my money. Oh, I'll thank you for one more round. Yeah, I'll thank you for one more round. I drink it by the ounce. No, I can't keep liquor in the house. Man, I left that girl last year. Shoot. And I ain't shed one tear. She was a mess, left my life a wreck. But God brought a new one, and man, am I blessed. She makes my world go round. Where she walks, I could kiss the ground. She goes out of her way, makes me wanna do the same. Oh, I thank you She's the girl of my dreams, man, I'd give everything. Oh, I thank you for one more round. But I can't keep that stuff around. I won't risk an ounce. No, I can't keep liquor in the house. I can't keep it, baby. No way. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Adrian Garza. This is my last song for the day, and it is a song that's very near and dear to my heart. I did this song with a buddy of mine, a real good friend, good man, good songwriter. His name's Chris Detroit. He's also here from Fort Worth, and this song's called Welcome to Cowtown. It's for anybody and everybody who's ever visited my city of Fort Worth or is from here. All right, here we go. High in the Texas sky, worked all day, man, I've been living for Friday. Music up in the speed up truck, turn it down when we see the law come round. Good old boys in the big boy toys, some are sitting high and some are down low. Moving along, DJ playing my song in Cowtown. Cruising down the street, Texas heat, moving real slow, driving like cattle. Sometimes hell, sometimes it's heaven. I'm at home in the 817. Grew up in these streets you can trust and know every soul. Drove every back road, cruising down Main, left on Exchange. Welcome to Cowtown.
Yeah.
What's up, Chris?
What's up, Adrian?
You ready to ride? Let's go. Yo!
I run my truck through the wash, clean my rims up good until they shine and they gloss. Maroon Luke Casey Gators looking like some damn sauce. Cowgirls in front of Billy Bob's. I pulled up like a boss. Hey, breaking X when we walk in, my team all floss in. Bouncers cleared the lane to the bar, yeah, we all in. Salute to my city and everybody riding with me. Welcome to Cowtown.
Cruising down the street, Texas heat, moving real slow, driving like cattle. Sometimes hell, sometimes it's heaven. I'm at home in the 817. Grew up in these streets you can trust and know every soul. Drove every back road, cruising down Main, left on Exchange. Welcome to Cowtown. Old Longhorns on the hood of my truck, mess with this bull and he's bound to buck. Riding over red bricks, looking at my red skin. Boy, I'm proud to say, born and raised Texan. Down Main Street, we hit PRs. Last call down round basement bar. Texas boys, turn in a man. Always keep cool when we handle our business. Cruising down the street, Texas heat, moving real slow, driving like cattle. Sometimes hell, sometimes it's heaven. I'm at home in the 817. Grew up in these streets you can trust and know every soul. Drove every back road, cruising down Main, left on Exchange. Welcome to Cowtown.
Yeah.
Hey, man, thank you so much for listening. My name is Adrian Garza, my buddy Chris Detroit right here.
Woo.
Everybody that's ever visited Fort Worth or coming to Fort Worth here soon, thank you so much. Also, want to give a big shout out to Fort Worth Roots Podcast. Thanks for having us. We'll see you guys soon at the show. Come on.
Let's go.